Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. So this video is going to be a little bit different, not doing a VGM unboxing or the pickups. I was thinking lately about the games that helped impact me as a gamer. I thought it'd be interesting to do a video about that. And so, a little bit about myself. So I was born in the late 80s. So I played Nintendo, the NES. I played Atari and stuff, but they weren't mine. The Atari was my uncle's. And the NES was my brother's. Even the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, those really weren't mine. They were my brother's, and we kind of shared them. It wasn't until we got to like PlayStation, Nintendo 64, that I actually had systems of my own that I didn't have to share anymore. So we're going to start with the NES because there were games that impacted me on there. We can go all the way through college because there were some games then that I played with friends that I hadn't played before. That impacted, who I am today and what games I still like to play. I tried to narrow it down to one game per console. That was very, very difficult for me. So I do have some honorable mentions, so I'll include those, but I won't spend time talking about them. So without further ado, let's start with the NES. So like I said, I didn't own the NES. It was my brother's, but I was able to play it quite a bit. And so the game that I went with that really impacted my gaming and who I am today would be, it's not Super Mario, it's not Zelda. I love the Super Mario games and I enjoyed them a lot. And Zelda I actually didn't really play much as a kid. It wasn't until I got older. And so the game I went with would be Super C. I absolutely love this game. There's just something about, when you first start it, you come out of the helicopter, there's lightning going on and the thunder. And you see the dark clouds and the sun setting, and you just go around and start blasting people. I mean, that music was unbelievable. Let's just listen to it for a second. Oh, it's so good. So I played this game all the time. Wasn't very good at it as a kid, but I enjoyed playing it, just booting up, just playing that first level. I just enjoyed it. Now, I mean, if I don't beat it in 2 tries, I'm not doing too well. And I don't use the Konami code. I just get through with your 3 lives. I've just played it so much. I know where the enemies are. I know when to get the spray gun and stuff like that. So that was my game for the NES. Some honorable mentions. Like I mentioned, the Super Mario Brothers, especially 3. This is the one that really got me into platformers. I played this all the time. I just loved it. And then another one, which I know, and I don't think everyone likes, but I enjoyed it. Star Wars for the NES. My brother and I were huge Star Wars fans, and I just played this all the time. Just, the first part, we were going around the land speeder, going through the different caves. That's really where I spent most of my time doing. I didn't get much past that, like to the cantina and to the Death Star. I just loved going into the caves, and I don't know, the music to me, I really enjoyed it. So moving up, we'll go to the Game Boy next. So we lived in Northern Illinois when I was a kid. But my mom was from northern Wisconsin, so we'd go up there all the time for holidays. And so there's a lot of time to sit in the car and drive. And so with 3, it was me and my 2 siblings, and being the youngest, I always had the middle seat. So I didn't get to, it was very tough for me to sleep. I'd read sometimes, but it was nice to have the Game Boy. And so the game that I played the most there would be Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Played this game a ton. This was probably the game that spent the most time in my Game Boy. I don't know how many times I beat it, but I just always loved it. You can see this copy's a little beat up. It's not my original. I sold all my Game Boy games as a kid. But I spent, like I said, the most time playing that. It was a great platformer. I enjoyed the first one too, but that one was just, I thought, way better. So a couple more games that impacted my the gamer who I became. The original Super Mario Land. Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. Of course, Tetris, seeing if I could beat my brother's high score. Kirby's Dream Land. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fall of the Foot Clan. So that was Game Boy. So moving on up, we'll go with Genesis first. My favorite genre of all time in video games is beat 'em ups. I just love, you don't have to think about it. It's linear. You just go through and you beat the crap out of people. So it's a lot of fun. So my favorite game for the Genesis that really impacted who I became and why I love beat 'em up so much would be Streets of Rage 2. I can remember the first time I ever played this, my mom had a friend she worked with who lent us this game. and I was just blown away by it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so fun. I was always Max. I just thought it was so cool to be that big guy and just be so much more powerful than everybody. Nowadays, I'll rotate between Max and Skate generally. I just love Skate being on the rollerblades and being able to dash really quickly. So I liked that game so much that we ended up buying it, and I actually also bought the first Streets of Rage. I don't have Streets of Rage 3 yet, but I really want it someday. So that really got me into beat 'em ups. Two more games that really I loved on the Genesis: Altered Beast, another beat 'em up, and then Decap Attack. I just thought it was so cool going around attacking people with your eyes. I just loved it, and I don't know, for some reason as a kid I always thought it would hurt him to attack with your eyes. I was like, why is he doing that? But obviously that's what the game was that you did, so whatever. But a couple more games that I like. Moving on to the Super Nintendo, this was by far the hardest system to pick from. There were so many great games I played as a kid. Super Mario World, I had Super Mario All-Stars, the Donkey Kong Country games, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, NBA Jam, some unbelievable games. But I decided to go with a little different game. I've never been big into RPGs. I tried to play Dragon Warrior as a kid. I didn't like it, and I like linear games. I don't like to explore that much, and so there was just nothing that I really ever liked that was RPG until I borrowed this game from my buddy, Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars. He let me borrow it, and I just got hooked immediately. I couldn't get very far at first. I kept dying when you first fight Krocko. I could not understand how to get past him. And so finally, I talked to my buddy. He's like, "Oh, get some pick-me-ups," and I brought a ton of pick-me-ups with him, and I finally beat him. And it took a while to actually get through the entire game, but I finally did it. And now it's probably one of those games I play every couple years, and I just love it. The music's great. It's a very simple RPG, so I think it was very good for me as a beginner to get into RPGs. So nowadays I'll play more often. Like I really like Chrono Trigger. I haven't played Secret Mana yet, but I hope to at some point. But I thought that was a really good stepping stone into RPGs. So a couple other ones that were big for me: Super Mario All-Stars. Just because, like I said, growing up with the NES, I was a little too young for it. So this gave me a chance to play Super Mario Bros. 3 and 2 and 1, and then of course the Lost Levels. Then obviously Super Mario World, Turtles in Time, and then my favorite Donkey Kong Country game, Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Kong Quest. Alright, moving along. Next, we're coming into the PlayStation. The first system that I owned personally. It wasn't my brother's. He was, I believe, off to college at this point, or he was maybe later in high school. I can't quite remember. But it was my system, and I was really a PlayStation fanboy. I had friends who were like 64, and we'd always argue about which system was better. But I was a huge PlayStation fanboy. And for me, the game that I thought impacted me the most, Twisted Metal 2. I loved the Twisted Metal series. This was the first one I actually played. In 4th grade, we had a kid move into our school, and he liked video games, and he kept talking about Twisted Metal 2. So I went over there once, and that was the first game we played, and I was immediately hooked. Hooked so much that I've got all the Twisted Metal games for PlayStation. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got Small Brawl, and then I've got Black for PS2. And I just thought it was awesome. This car combat. I'd always use the minion code and just go around using that special on everybody and just freezing them, and I just enjoyed it. But then eventually I did go through the game with everybody just to see their endings. I just thought the endings were pretty cool. So that was for PlayStation. And a couple honorable mentions. Crash Bandicoot. I got that for, I believe, my birthday one year. I remember staying up a little late, even though it was a school night, to play it for a couple hours, and that was just such a good platformer. Another series was Spyro. My favorite was Spyro 2: Ripto's Rage. Again, Spyro was something that I borrowed from a friend. I got hooked on it, and I've got them all now for the PlayStation. And then, of course, Metal Gear Solid. The first Metal Gear game I really got into. I just absolutely loved it. I remember I got stuck. You had to call Meryl, and you call the Colonel and stuff. They keep saying, "Oh, it's on the back of the CD case." I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I talked to my buddy who I actually first borrowed it from, and he's like, "No, it's actually on the back of the actual game case." I was like, "Oh, there you go." So in case you didn't know that, yep, right on the back, right there for you to call. So then I got past the part, and then obviously went through the game. So I just loved that game. It was so much fun sneaking around. That was a little tough for me since being a beat up fan. I just like to run in and beat people up. But once you got into the sneaking, it was pretty fun. So next we'll go to 64. I did eventually get a 64. My neighbor had it and I played it a lot. I was still a PlayStation fanboy. I stuck with PlayStation through thick and thin. But I did eventually get the 64 and liked it. And this one it came down to a couple. It's not Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I love that game, but I did not actually get that game until college. I played it at my neighbor's a little bit, but I just never got into it. But for 64, probably my personal favorite on the system, the original Super Smash Brothers. I played this game a ton. From the moment I got it, I just played it all the time. And then eventually, so I was in Pep Band in high school, and we get together and play games, video games before Pep Band, and so I'd bring this in occasionally. We just had Super Smash Brothers tournament, and it was so much fun. I loved it. And that really made me love all the Super Smash Brothers games. And then one more, Donkey Kong 64. That was another big one for me. Alright, next up we've got the PlayStation 2. So obviously being a big PlayStation fanboy, I loved the PlayStation 2 and couldn't wait to get it. And so the one that impacted my gaming the most, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. This is the first Grand Theft Auto I played, and I absolutely loved it. I think a part of it was the music. At that point, I was really getting into classic rock through my dad, and so I would always be listening to V-Rock. And I just loved the commercials. I loved the songs that were on there. I loved the ones they made up for Love Fist. And I just thought it was a great game. It's just sometimes putting on get all the guns and unlimited ammo and just go off on people and see how long you could last before they took you out. Stealing the Apache helicopter. Like that, this had so many side missions other than just the regular missions. It was just so fun to do. I love going around collecting all the cars. So that was really great. And so obviously I've got Grand Theft Auto 3 now, San Andreas, and then 4 and 5. And this was the only one that I've actually spent a ton of time on. I don't think I've even played 5 yet. I've had it for a couple of years. 4 I've only played a little bit. 3, same thing. And then San Andreas, I just got stuck at a mission. I haven't played it since. But that one I loved. So a couple other games that were really impactful. God of War 2, I love the whole series, but this one was by far my favorite. I just thought it had the best combination of everything. The controls were the best, the story was the best, and I mean, just being that badass like Kratos was so cool, just ripping into everybody. Next, Resident Evil 4, the first Resident Evil game I actually played. And then Guitar Hero 2, the first Guitar Hero game I played, and that got me hooked for years. Every time Guitar Hero came out, I went and bought it, and I played a ton of it. Alright, next, we're going on to the GameCube. And it is not Super Smash Bros. Melee. That was actually probably my least favorite Super Smash Bros. Game. I know, send the pitchforks at me now, but I just never really got into it. I liked it, but I still prefer the first, and then obviously Brawl is my favorite of all time. So for the GameCube, I didn't have a ton. I probably had 4 or 5 games growing up. So the game I liked the most that really impacted me would be Luigi's Mansion. And so to this day, Luigi is my favorite Nintendo character. I like him better than Mario. I even dressed up as Luigi one year for Halloween. I just thought he never got the respect he deserved, and he's always shown as like a scaredy cat and not as brave as Mario and doesn't go on all the adventures. And so I just loved how this was his first game on his own. And I just thought it had a really cool mechanic, going through the haunted house, collecting the ghosts and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. So then one more that I really loved was Mario Kart Double Dash. I love the Mario Kart series. This one is probably my favorite, that and the Wii version. That was another game we played all the time during Pep Band. I just liked the aspect of having 2 people on your cart and you could switch them, and then you got your special weapons. So that was fun. Alright, moving on up to the college years. The games that I played probably the most in college. So I already mentioned that I really like Brawl. That's the one I played the most, and it's probably my favorite. But I already picked Super Smash Bros. For 64 as that impacted me. So obviously that series had a big impact on me. So what I went with was Super Mario Galaxy. When this came out, I heard it was unbelievable, so I couldn't wait to get it. And as soon as I got it, I spent all my free time, when I wasn't in class, when I wasn't studying, playing this game. I absolutely love it. I mean, I would go through it, play through the whole game multiple times a year, and get every single star, go back through as Luigi and get every star again. I just love the music, the thought of it, the different galaxies. I just thought it was amazing. So that was a game that really had an impact for me on the Wii. And then obviously I did mention already, as honorable mention, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And then so finally, we're going to stop at the Xbox 360. I didn't actually own a 360 until after college. I was just never a big Xbox fan. I'd play with my friends. We played Halo and Halo 2 a ton in high school. But I don't know, I wasn't really into those newer games that much. But my buddy, last semester of college when I was student teaching, he got an Xbox 360, and he had gotten Halo Reach. So that is my impactful game for the Xbox 360. Probably the last really big impactful game that I've played, since I don't play a lot of new games much. So the reason Halo Reach is so impactful is, like I mentioned before, we played Halo and Halo 2 a ton in high school, and I was terrible. I mean, we'd have teams, and people were trying to trade me for nothing. They didn't even want anything in return. They just wanted to get rid of me. I was so bad. Occasionally I'd get lucky. I'd finally find a shotgun and do a little bit of damage, but everyone was good enough that they could just run away from me, and they'd kill me before I could kill them with the shotgun. It was bad. So when Halo Reach came out and my buddy got it, we had a pass for I think 2 months free of Xbox Live Gold. So he let me sign up. I created a gamer tag, and I just played Halo Reach a ton. I was like, I am going to get good at Halo. And the one thing that I really always wanted to be good at was sniping. I just thought it was so cool just being across the map and just one shot and hit their head, they're gone. And so I played Team Snipers all the time. And finally, I actually got pretty good. I even got better than my roommates who had played Halo all the time. I even got good at Slayer. And the other ones I didn't have to be only good at a sniper. But that's the one I played. In fact, when I play Halo Reach, it's all I play is snipers. Hemorrhage is my favorite map. I just love sitting back and sniping people. I mean, the close quarters maps are pretty fun, but I don't know. I mean, you're sniping. You're supposed to sit back and just shoot them. So that's why Halo Reach was impactful on me. And so there you go. Those were the games that really had a huge impact on my gaming and who I became as a gamer today. As you see, not a lot of new stuff. I don't have a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. The newest system I have is a Wii U, and I just got that probably 2 months ago. I just prefer the old games, and these are the games that shaped me as a kid. They're the games that I always go back to and play, multiple times a year. In fact, right now I'm playing Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars. Super Seed I'll put in probably once a week and just go through it. So these are the games I love. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment, leave the games that were impactful to you. If you thought I missed anything, ask about it. Like I said, some of these games like Zelda, I didn't play Zelda much as a kid. It wasn't until college that I got into Zelda. And Metroid, same thing. I had Metroid 2, but I loved it as a kid on the Game Boy, but I didn't play it that much, and I didn't get very far. So yeah, that was it. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.